Tonight on Ctv3 News, police investigate vandalism incident involving BSCFA vehicle in Orange Walk. Local business Quick reports disturbing robbery of delivery runner in Orange Walk. Farmers unite at Ministry of Agriculture's meeting to address onion production challenges and push for local market support. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, January 14th, 2025.
The New World screwworm is a serious threat to livestock, pets, wildlife, and even humans. It begins when a female fly lays her eggs in a wound or mucous membranes of a live, warm-blooded animal. These eggs hatch into larvae that burrow into the flesh and feed on living tissue, causing severe damage if left untreated.
Monitoring your animals regularly is key. Check your livestock and pets for any wounds. No matter how small, even something as tiny as a tick bite can attract New World screwworm flies.
Clean and treat all wounds immediately. Keep them covered and monitor them for any signs of infection or larvae. Early treatment is critical to stopping screwworm infestations. If you suspect an infestation, notify your local authority, PAHA, BLPA, or the Ministry of Agriculture right away. Quick action can prevent the spread and protect your livestock and community.
Together, we can protect our livestock industry by preventing New World screwworm from entering Belize. Stay vigilant, treat wounds, and report any signs to the proper authorities. Stay informed, stay protected.
Good evening. Breaking news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Police in Orange Walk Town are tonight investigating a case of damage to property reported by the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BSCFA, following an incident involving a company vehicle. According to the report from the general manager of the BSCFA, on Christmas Eve, a 2007 Toyota Hilux pickup truck was parked on the BSCFA compound at the corner of San Antonio Road and Guadalupe Street, Orange Walk Town. The vehicle remained parked at the location for several weeks until Monday morning when an employee noticed that the vehicle had been damaged. After noticing that the vehicle's windshield had been shattered, personnel from the association reviewed security footage from the compound and saw that on Saturday, January 11, 2025, at around 7:16 p.m., a male of Creole descent entered the compound and threw a large rock at the vehicle, causing the damage. The Orange Walk Police Formation currently has one person detained in connection with this incident who is expected to face charges soon. The suspect, we understand, has been charged in different occasions for similar incidents of damage to property. There was a disturbing incident over the weekend here in Orange Walk. Well-known local business Quick took to social media to report an incident involving one of their runners, which happened on Saturday night in the community of Trawl Farm. Their post states, and we quote, "One of our delivery runners was a victim of a robbery where the individuals involved took the food, 2 phones, and a wallet. The robbers posed as customers ordering food and set us up," end quote. Stolen in the incident were an iPhone 7 Plus, a Samsung F13, cash, and 2 wallets with IDs. The matter is currently being investigated by the Orange Walk Police. However, residents are asked to report any information which can lead authorities to the perpetrators of this crime. Following this weekend's incident, Quick is advising customers of its new safety measures, which includes enhanced order verification, meaning that all new customers will be required to send a form of identification before processing orders. Online money transactions will be prioritized moving forward. At this time, we understand that police have several persons of interest in relation to this incident. Investigations continue at this time and charges are expected on this matter. Today, approximately 50 farmers from across the country convened at the conference room at Ctv3 Corozal in a meeting organized by the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise. The session was focused on discussing projections for onion production in 2025, a significant topic given the challenges farmers faced last year when many crops experienced rot due to unfavorable conditions. Farmers were given the opportunity to voice their concerns regarding local products, the impact of importation, the issue of contraband, and the overall quality of locally produced vegetables.
Literally like now, and the farmers want to ensure that they will be able to sell their product. They have worked hard in the field, they have toiled the soil, and it's only fair that they be given the opportunity to sell their product. So we're here this morning to present the figures to them, for them to see which district is producing and what they're producing, and what will be the total production. Now, from that, the farmers will be able to ask questions, right? As they have a right to do, they ask us the tough questions, and we're here to answer them as best as we could. There are certain production practices that also we would like to ask them about their knowledge management practices in the field, to ensure that the data that they're giving us is the data that we're presenting to at the ministry level, to ensure that when we stop importation, that we actually have the products to supply the local market. The idea here is to ensure that, one, the farmers can sell their product, and two, to ensure that the consumers can get the product in their kitchen, and also quality product.
The meeting represents a crucial moment for the MEFSC as it seeks to promote local produce in contrast to the necessity of imports during periods of domestic shortages. However, after last year's challenges where farmers faced significant losses due to rotting crops, we asked Andrew Mejia, Director of Extension Services in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, what measures will be implemented to ensure quality and prevent a recurrence of this situation.
It's a recycling issue, and we're trying our utmost best. Last year we implemented the calendarized system where we programmed the planting to ensure that the production would be staggered in such a way that when one community is producing and supplying the local market, when that is finished, then the other communities come in. It didn't work out as we would like because of the weather conditions. We had too much rain in November and December. Literally, we just had some rain again last week. So the issue repeated itself, especially with the carrots. And I'm glad you brought it up because it repeated itself where we had a bumper crop again, hoping that that will be resolved by this week. For the onion now, the farmers are here. They're voicing their concerns, valid concerns. We're not angry with them as a ministry. We're here to ensure them that we're doing our part to ensure that they'll be able to sell their product. Everything about this meeting today is to ensure that there is clear communication between the ministry and the farmers, and that we can assure them that they will be able to sell their product. Currently, we have closed importation of onion. There is no more importation of onion for a week, giving the farmers ample time to be able to harvest and sell their produce.
With the clock ticking, farmers express a shared frustration over the importation of products while there are local options available. Orlando Eck, chairman of the Concepcion Vegetable Farmers Cooperative, called on the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, BMDC, to halt imports when local supplies are sufficient to meet market demands.
As you can see here at the meeting, there's a lot of producers, and that is history. That is history because we are interested in in our business, because farming is business. We want to do money, we want to do profits. So if we have a good transition, that is like we want to know, and the marketing board, what is their option for now? We have onion, yellow, we have enough yellow onion, but we might see that we don't have the purple and the white one to supply all the country. But like the minister said before in news, right? He said that with 2 weeks that people will not have yellow or white onion. He mentioned in that time carrots, but now I am mentioning it white onion and purple onion. People will not die. You see, but we will have to. We will have the onion one, the purple one. No, sorry, the yellow one, so that we could supply the country. And if you understand our posture, we are out there, sunny, rainy. Every day we are there in the farm to produce a good quality. As you can see, we have good quality of yellow onion. So I think that if we do a good transition, we'll make it. As long as there is no legal contract.
Valentin Correa, administrator of BMDC, was also in attendance and defended his organization against accusations regarding the importation of produce, citing that the Ministry of Agriculture is the entity solely in charge of issuing importation licenses.
Well, usually these meetings are held in the beginning of the harvest season for onion, so that there's a decision to when to cut off the importation date. That's the interest of BMDC, to be in sync with Ministry of Agriculture, the farmers, and import dates. So that is why BMDC is represented here. Looks like production is going to start end of bulk production is going to start end of January. So I believe that last week Thursday was the last import date for onion, and that is the interest of BMDC here.
One of the things that the farmers have told us is that BMDC does allow for the importation of produce, be it onion, carrots, lettuce, into the market while they are yet selling their product. I've heard, I think Mr. Egg mentioned that a moment ago inside there.
Well, there's a lot of hearings here, what we hear out there and the reality. BMDC cannot import if license is not granted. That is for all commodities. And the Ministry of Agriculture is the one that grants those licenses for onion, for potato, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, and lettuce. So BMDC does not import on its own or makes that decision. It's an informative decision that the ministry grants.
Despite these ongoing discussions, the production of onion for 2025 is currently experiencing a slow start, and farmers are growing increasingly anxious. Mejia assured attendees that MAFSC is working for them to ensure both a fruitful harvest and a sustainable market for local onions moving forward.
Right now we're starting the production. It's very slow at this time. Between now and the end of the month, it will be picked up where every community that planted from September and October, because that's the importance. They're planting, the calendarized system is that they're planting by month. So those communities who planted in September and October will start to sell by the end of this month and then February, and then the other communities start to come until the local production is exhausted. This year we're projecting a little over 2 million pounds of onion, which is the yellow, the white, and the purple. So we have the marketing board with us today, and they are looking at the figures as well. Because if we cannot supply as a ministry and the farmer, we cannot supply the local market, then they will need to come into to subsidize what our shortfall.
But that amount that you're projecting that you'll get, is that enough to supply the country generally?
For 6 months.
Okay.
Yes. And then the other 6 months, then the marketing board will need to import. Okay. And that has been working fine over the years. What has happened is when, it's always the transition period. When we close importation to when bulk of the production comes in, there is always an issue within that period, and it's about a 2 weeks window that we're trying to close that gap. But when the calendarized system is new, we're doing our what we call our check and balances. And this is where a meeting like this comes in, to hear from the farmers what went wrong, what's going right, and we make adjustments again. It won't solve itself anytime right away, because it's been a rollover issue, but we're hoping that with the new systems that we have in place, we'll be able to close the gap. We'll be able to assure the farmers that we are working for them.
Farmers remain hopeful that with effective collaboration and government support, they can overcome last year's hardships and achieve their production goals for 2025. The U.S. State Department has raised alarm over the safety of American travelers to Belize, issuing a Level 2 travel advisory that urges citizens to exercise increased caution. This advisory, driven by a surge in violent crime, highlights serious risks to visitors throughout the country, including in well-known tourist hotspots. The travel advisory specifically outlines prevalent crimes such as sexual assault, home invasions, armed robberies, and murder, disturbingly even in popular areas during daylight hours. The advisory warns travelers that local law enforcement often falls short, lacking the necessary resources and training to effectively tackle serious criminal offenses, leading to many cases remaining unresolved and unprosecuted. In response to the advisory's alarming implications, we sought comments from Belize's Home Affairs Minister Karim Musa to understand how his ministry plans to tackle these pressing safety concerns.
Oftentimes in my discussions with the U.S. Embassy raise my concerns, especially over the last 2 or 3 years, where we have seen a downturn in the number of homicides each year. And I think we are actually beating 15 or so states in the homicide rate. So it could be argued that Belize should be issuing a travel advisory to those 15 states. But we are very close partners with the U.S. Embassy, and it is something that I flag each year that it certainly doesn't make sense, in my opinion, why it is that these travel advisories are issued when in fact there is that downturn. But no doubt, I think travelers on their own have seen the beauty and charm of Belize. They don't find it as a violent destination, and so we see that increase. I think by 60,000 overnight passengers in just 2024 we have increased. So remarkable numbers coming out of the Ministry of Tourism, and certainly it doesn't seem that that travel advisory is having any kind of negative effect.
As the advisory takes effect, American tourists are advised to stay informed about their surroundings, avoid high-risk areas, and take safety precautions such as securing valuables and traveling in groups when possible. Belizeans can expect to head to the polls in the next few months. Prime Minister John Briceño has confirmed it will take place in the first half of this year. With the opposition party still in shambles and possibly going into the elections with 2 leaders, the entire country is anxiously awaiting to see how the elections will pan out. Despite the challenges the opposition is facing, the race is on towards election, and current area representative for Caribbean Shores and Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Karim Musa, says he is hitting the ground running in his constituency to prepare for the upcoming elections.
The campaign never stops. I try to stay as grounded as possible within my constituency, visiting homes of my constituents, and so that is certainly going to be intensified in 2025 because this is an election year, and so it is my hope that we'll be meeting with our committee this week and hopefully start the campaign within the next few weeks.
Do you feel that the energy has really picked up around this time since people are thinking that elections will be announced soon?
It has. Everywhere you go, people are expecting an election sooner rather than later. And so I believe there is that momentum for an election.
You think you guys will pull off a clean sweep?
It's possible, but I don't know whether it will be a clean sweep, but I think it's very possible given the current state of the United Democratic Party.
Coming up next, Belize remembers first Prime Minister George Price on his 106th birthday. Stay tuned.
El gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo representa una amenaza importante para el ganado, las mascotas y los seres humanos. Puede provocar graves pérdidas si no se controla rápidamente. Actualmente no está presente en Belice. Es por eso que la detección temprana es crucial para evitar su propagación. Ayudemos a mantenerlo fuera. No traiga animales de otros países ilegalmente. Si nota gusaneras en heridas inusuales, infórmelo de inmediato. Llame a Baja al 824-4872 o envíe un mensaje de texto al 670-7003. Juntos podemos trabajar para mantener a nuestro país libre del gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo y salvar animales. Este mensaje es presentado por Baja, OIRSA, IICA, USDA y el Ministerio de Agricultura, Seguridad Alimentaria y Empresas.
Tomorrow marks Wednesday, January 15, a significant day in Belize as the nation honors the legacy of its first Prime Minister, the late Right Honorable George Cadle Price. This year, the observance of George Price Day takes on added importance as it celebrates what would have been Price's 106th birthday. This solemn occasion notably commemorates the 5th year of George Price Day as a national holiday. Price, a pivotal figure in Belize's history, was born on January 15, 1919, and is affectionately referred to as the father of independence for his tireless efforts in leading Belize to sovereignty. Price's legacy is intertwined with the establishment of the People's United Party, PUP, which remains a dominant political force in the country today. In addition to his political achievements, Price is recognized internationally for his advocacy of human rights, impacting not just Belize but communities around the globe. However, this year's celebration of George Price Day falls on a Wednesday, which traditionally raises questions about the holiday observance. In many countries, public holidays are often moved to a Monday for extended weekends and convenience. When asked about the decision not to shift the holiday to a Monday, Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa offered insights into the rationale behind retaining January 15th as the official date.
I don't know that there's two sides to that argument. Some people advocate for having the actual holiday on the day itself, which was Mr. Price's birthday. Usually when it falls on like a Tuesday or Thursday, it would be moved to a Monday or Friday. This one happened to fall smack dab in the middle of the week, and so we decided to leave it there. But certainly if it were like a Tuesday or a Thursday, maybe moving it closer to the weekend to avoid the disruption is a good idea.
The Belize City Council held a significant public investment forum today aimed at fostering economic growth and community engagement. The event, which gathered members of the community and potential investors, was designed with three primary objectives: to showcase the Council's achievements and vision, to present its municipal securities, and to field questions from residents during an interactive segment. Mayor Bernard Wagner opened the forum, emphasizing the city's commitment to attracting investors.
The municipal securities, we are looking for investors. It could be institutional investors, pension fund, insurance companies, corporations, banks, but also the retail investor who wants a greater return on his or her investment. And so we as a city grow, sometimes you don't have adequate funding to really drive development in the city. And so we wanted to start 2025 by engaging the investor and selling our product, which is the municipal paper, note, or bond. Getting the sort of capital that you want, you'll be able to not only rehabilitate streets, but build new streets. And everywhere the city is growing. You see it in Belama Phase 5, you see it in the Jane Usher area, all across this city. people want streets, people want decent streets. And we as a municipality have to be proactive, and that is why we had this investment forum. By legislation, the council cannot pay more than 20% of its recurrent revenue on an average for the past 3 years. So even with this new offering that we are proposing, it will be less than 3 million in interest payments for annually. I always insist that flooding requires participation from residents. We will do our part we have cleaned those drains on an annual basis. When you see flooding in the city, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but if water not stay there long, the water goes away pretty quickly. But I agree with you that we still need to fine-tune the drainage system in the city, and that is part of our agenda for this year, to really focus a bit more on drainage, ensuring that they are maintained, ensuring that they are connecting. You can't just have a drain and you not connect to nowhere. It has to connect to the canals then feed into the river, and the river into the sea. We have a pumping station, thankfully, that really help us to alleviate flooding in one of that key area in the downtown Belize City area.
Wagner asserts that while Belize City may be modest, the concept of securities is not a new one. According to the mayor, Belize City has the potential for a promising future if the idea is implemented effectively.
No, the municipal securities is not a novel idea. It has been out there for years. The city of New York float bonds each and every day. As a matter of fact, their bonds, when I last checked for the city of New York, they had a ceiling of close to $132 billion. And so we are less modest, of course. But the good thing about this is that we now have the structure in place, the legislation. So we have the oversight body, which is the FSC, which really regulates institutions who seek to do securities. The taxes is used for your day-to-day operation, but if you are engaging in capital projects, huge projects at street infrastructure, parks and playgrounds, expansion of your e-mobility project, you need significant capital, and you will never be able to get those capital on a day-to-day basis of property taxes, trade license, or liquor license, or traffic fees. So you have to be able to access the market in the Belize market. The last time we checked, there was close to 700 million in the banking system that is sitting in the banking sector. And those funds can be utilized to drive development within a city, especially like Belize City, which is a growing city. We have over 730 streets. People want to walk on decent street. People want to drive on decent street. But how can we as a municipality able to drive that development? The only way we can do it is through seeking capital from the other investors.
As the Belize City Council continues to explore avenues for economic enhancement, the Public Investment Forum represents a pivotal step towards fostering meaningful investments and community involvement in the future of Belize City. In a bold move to alleviate financial strain from the city's garbage collection services, Mayor Bernard Wagner has voiced his support for the imposition of a new fee on residents to cover waste management costs. The proposal comes as the Belize City Council grapples with mounting debts to Belize Waste Control Limited, the city's primary waste management partner. Today, Mayor Wagner emphasized that the current financial burden of garbage collection should not solely fall on the city's shoulders, as he pointed out that the city is actively working to clear its outstanding bills to Belize Waste Control Limited, which has become a pressing issue.
Well, I have not shy away from that. I have been saying this for years that the residents must. It's your garbage that you are creating, and the city has a responsibility to ensure that we are not utilizing funds that would be normally used for street rehabilitation and other operational expenses to pay your garbage, to pick up your garbage. That has to be at some point addressed. Why is Belize City different from all the other municipalities? You ask yourself that question. All the other municipalities have legislation to collect a garbage fee, and so I have not shied away from that. I do believe that we have residents who want to pay. I have had many discussions with residents who say, Mayor, we want to pay a garbage fee because we are a responsible contributor to our city. We are paying those outstanding, the outstanding. It's always a cash flow problem, my brother. Cash flow is how you manage it, right? During the slow season, there will be a slowdown of revenues coming into the council coffers, and so it's about managing it. But we are, as we speak, keeping up to our obligation with Belize Waste Control as a city.
So there wasn't a bailout or a deposit made by central?
We had very good discussions with the Prime Minister, and he helped us a lot in really getting the parties to the table and formulating a plan. And that plan is being adhered to as we speak.
Not necessarily a bailout.
I can't speak on bailout, but I am saying that I'm thankful for the Prime Minister for engaging us and having that meeting and really leading us with the other stakeholder to reach a solution that is beneficial for both parties.
Effective today, Tuesday, January 14, the price of liquid petroleum gas increased by 16 cents. The change reflects wholesale volume and retail sale by volume in both urban and rural areas. This means that the wholesale price for LPG will now be $4.12. In urban areas, the retail price will be $1.31 per pound or $5.72 per gallon. Prices in the rural areas will decrease to $1.33 per pound or $5.82 per gallon. According to the Supplies Control Unit SCU in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, the increase of 16 cents per gallon is a result of an increase in the acquisition price of both butane and propane. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Ladyville Cable Technician vacancy. Looking to join a growing and innovative company in the telecommunication industry? At Centaur, we believe the work you do should be as empowering as the services we provide and deliver to our customers. Therefore, interested applicants from Ladyville wanting to join our team as a cable technician, Ladyville branch, must possess, in addition to a high school diploma, the following qualifications: ability to handle basic installation tools including a 30-feet ladder, ability to test, troubleshoot, and document test results, ability to install and terminate and test coax cables and twisted pair cable, must have a valid driver license A and be able to travel, must be willing to work flexible hours, possess excellent customer service skills. Understanding basic computer networking will be an asset. Interested applicants may submit a letter of application along with their resume and 2 letters of reference and a police record no later than Monday, January 27, 2025 to Human Resources Manager, Centaur Communications Corporations Limited, 61 Queen Victoria Avenue, Orange Walk Town.
Representatives of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, are expected to arrive in Belize this afternoon. They were invited by the Belize People's Front, BPF. A statement from BPF leader Nancy Marin says that the visit is primarily aimed at signing a historic bipartisan agreement of mutual collaboration between the PLO and the BPF. Representing the PLO are Mohammed Salam, Commissioner of the PLO and Coordinator of the Anti-Apartheid Department, as well as Raboan Rodriguez, Coordinator of the Latin American Alliance for Palestine. They are expected to discuss key areas of cooperation, solidarity, and shared values between the BPF and PLO. Marin says that the delegation will pay Prime Minister John Briceño a courtesy call. They will also be hosted for lunch by Minister Karim Musa and former Prime Minister Said Musa in a spirit of camaraderie and mutual respect. They are scheduled to meet with Honorary Consul of Lebanon Sarkis Abu Nehar to further regional ties. As part of the BPF's ongoing commitment to the education of Belizean youth, the delegation will also make an introductory visit to the University of Belize. Yesterday, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Honorable Kevin Bernard, had the privilege of meeting with the dedicated regional health managers, deputy regional managers, and hospital administrators to embark on a new year. Together, the group reflected on achievements and challenges from the past year, reaffirming mutual commitments to continue delivering exceptional health and wellness services. In his opening remarks, the minister mentioned that this gathering was more than just a meeting, it was a call to action. I encourage you all to engage in open and honest dialogue, fostering an environment where every voice is heard. I emphasize the importance of thinking and acting like eagles, not ducks, encouraging visionary leadership, courage, innovation, team empowerment, and resilience. Moving forward, the minister reminded the regional teams that the focus would be on turning conversations into commitments and implementing solutions that transform lives. Together, we will elevate the health and well-being of every citizen we serve. The meeting ended with the minister expressing his gratitude to all who participated and contributed to the vital discussion held. Let's soar to new heights in 2025. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, January 16th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.